Hello, my name is Kiani Sampson, and I am a senior from Mobile, Alabama, and I am a biology major, communications minor, and this is my organizational communications project video for my class project. Um, so, what is communication? Being able to communicate effectively is the most important of all life skills. In order to be successful in anything, any organization, any company, you need to be able to communicate with your coworkers, your managers, know how to do a chain of command, and just overall just know how to express to other people. So I will be talking about the comparison and contrast of communication techniques and strategies between Texas Roadhouse and Applebee's. I am currently a server at a local restaurant here in Montgomery, so I understand the ins and outs of a restaurant at first-hand basis. So I have experienced communication within a restaurant as a server, as well as just being a customer in both of these establishments. So the key similarities of Texas Roadhouse and Applebee's is that they both use similar techniques and tech and strategies to better their company as a whole and to effectively communicate with their loyal customers. So first, I will discuss the organizational culture of Texas Roadhouse and Applebee's, along with, secondly, I will talk about the internal communication within the two. Thirdly, I will talk about the external communication. Then I will talk about the environmental change and their responses to this actual change. And finally, I will talk about the corporate responsibility and social entrepreneurship. So now I will discuss the organizational culture between Texas Roadhouse. So, firstly, I will say that Texas Roadhouse uses the information transfer approach. The information flows from one person to another. So, an example, the information from a manager or a higher power in the company, that communication is flown to the actual employees of that establishment, and then that shows the transfer approach of communication. Applebee's uses the integrity aspect, which is a mindful state of acting to fulfill a promise made with others. So in order to fulfill their promises to their customers, whether that being like deals or like different things that they do within the restaurant, they make sure they have that integrity to make sure that that actual thing is being done so that the customers know that they are fulfilling that promise to them. And then secondly, we're going to talk about the internal communication. So Texas Roadhouse, the organizational assimilation involves both surprise and sense of making. And Applebee's has the anticipating socialization, the stage people learn about work through communication. So an example, that being that people learn about what is going on in the work area or the workspace through communication. Now we're going to jump into the external communication. So this is the communication done externally outside of the company, so being the local public and the customers. Internal organizational communication networks are enduring transactions that flow and linkages that occur among the organization. So different linkages and flowing of communication is gone through the company to the customers. Leadership style should be conceived. This is something that is done by Applebee's, as their communication is from one automatic share of power. So their corporate manager will make a decision and that is being flowed to the actual public. Changes in an environment, the situational leadership suggests that appropriate leadership emerges from the behavior that is responsible to the varied situation. So, an example in Texas Roadhouse during the pandemic, they had to have a situational leadership in order to perform a good aspect to the public while they're in a pandemic. So they had to make sure that their loyal customers and the public knew the actions they were going to take to ensure the safety of the guests whenever they were able to reopen the restaurants. So that's having a situational leadership, because that's not something that you do every day at the restaurant, but you have to adjust to the new norm. Also, with Applebee's, they had a team learning aspect to the pandemic. So that being the alignment or functioning of a whole. So they have to be on one accord to ensure that they're following all the safety protocols, all the procedures are being met, the 6 feet is being met, and the mask mandate is being done. So that is being done by Applebee's as well as Texas Roadhouse, but they both have different techniques and strategies that they use to fulfill that. So corporate responsibility is our final corporate responsibility and social entrepreneurship is the final topic that we will discuss here. So Texas Roadhouse uses a discursive leadership, or the social linguistics and cultural aspects of leadership as reflected in the concrete interactional process. And Applebee's uses a trait theory is one of the earliest attempts to the fashion theory of leadership. I'm sorry. And so today I have discussed the organizational culture, the internal communication, external communication, and the changes in the environment and their response. And finally, I have also discussed the corporate responsibility and social entrepreneurship between Texas Roadhouse and Applebee's, which were my 2 organizations that I picked for this assignment. Thank you.